Hi guys, it's Mihiri here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing what is called the Sri Lankan Tag. So for those of you who don't know, I am from an island called Sri Lanka. It's a small island right under the tip of India. So I was born there and I moved to the United States with my family when I was 8 years old. So I've been here for almost 20 years now. I absolutely love my little island and I love being Sri Lankan and I'm so proud of it. So I absolutely had to do this tag. I had a young lady who reached out to me on Instagram, and surprisingly her name is also Mihiri, which really isn't that weird because Mihiri is a pretty common name in Sri Lanka. But it just so happens she's also a YouTuber. So I checked out some of her stuff and this girl is really great. She's so young, but she has some really great insights. So if you guys have a chance, please go check her out. I will link her below. And she had this video called the Sri Lankan Tag. So I saw it and I loved it. So I told her that I absolutely had to try it for myself. So the first question is, how much tea do you drink? So this is such a fitting question because I definitely have a really unhealthy relationship with tea. So when we were younger, how we got woken up in the morning is our parents would bring us a cup of Mihiri or milk tea in the morning. So that's how we got woken up, and I swear there was times where I just wouldn't even get out of bed until I've had my tea. And funny enough, one of my first videos that I attempted was actually how to make Mihiri. So that just shows how important Mihiri is in my life. So growing up, I think it wasn't crazy to have like 3 cups of tea every day. So like Mihiri in the morning, so milk tea, and then like a plain tea in the afternoon, and then another Mihiri maybe, you know, right before bed or something. So yeah, so it wasn't a crazy idea. And what's even worse about this is my mom, she would put like 3 tablespoons of sugar in each cup of tea. So yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna get diabetes pretty soon. So now that I'm out on my own, I would say on the average I would probably drink like 1 cup of tea a day, and I have really cut back on the sugar because I'm not trying to die. So probably maybe 1 teaspoon of sugar, if that. So that's definitely a struggle. And another hard part about it was like trying to figure out how to make Mihiri without using cow milk, because I don't drink cow milk anymore. So I tried it with almond milk, I tried it with coconut milk at one point. So now I've settled with soy milk. It's still not quite the same, but you know, it's a small sacrifice I've had to make. So yeah, so if you guys have any tips on how to make the perfect cup of Mihiri, I would really appreciate it. The second question is, what is your favorite dish? So this is a really hard question to answer because Sri Lankan food is amazing. Like, it's so delicious and I love all the Sri Lankan food. And a lot of people have asked me if it's pretty similar to Indian food, and I always say no because I feel like it's a little bit closer to Thai food, considering that we use coconut milk as our base for almost everything. So anyways, my favorite dish to eat hands down is this dish called moju, which is essentially an eggplant curry. And I don't know if it's just really good when my mom makes it, but it is so good. And anytime she asks us like, what do you want me to bring for you when you come over, like, it's always moju. That's always my answer. I also really love simple rice and paripu and sambol, a mixture. So sambol is pretty much shaved coconut with a bunch of spices in it, and paripu is lentil curry. And those two together with rice, it's just like, that's all I ever will need. If I had to eat that every day, I would be so happy. The next question is, what is your favorite dessert? I'm not super into sweet stuff, so I'm gonna change this question to what is my favorite fruit, because fruit can be a dessert a little bit. So there's this fruit called mangosteen in Sri Lanka, and I think it grows in other parts of Asia as well, but I swear this fruit is like so delicious. So it's like this purple fruit, and you break it open and you actually, what you eat is like this white seeds on the inside. And yeah, it's absolutely delicious. I think one time when I was in Sri Lanka, I probably ate like 30 of them in one sitting, and I'm not even exaggerating. They're so good. So if you ever get a chance to go to Sri Lanka, try mangosteen. The next question is, where did you live in Sri Lanka? So when we were younger, the house I grew up in was in Pitipana. So my parents actually built that house, and that's where I grew up. So I lived almost 7 years there. And I have to say, my childhood living in Sri Lanka in that house were like some of the best memories of my life. We had like a neighborhood gang that we all would like get together in the afternoon and we'd ride bikes, and we had like all these adventures straight out of a movie, I swear. We had like rice paddy fields right behind our house. It was just such a cool experience. So I'm so grateful for that. Also, my cousins lived in Ruanrala, and that's where my mom grew up. So they actually lived in the house that my mom and her siblings lived in. So we would go there all the time. Another place that's kind of significant to me is now when I go over there, my uncle and his family lives in Kottava, so we mostly stay there. So the next question is, what is your favorite word? So I don't know if I have a specific word that's my favorite, but I do want to say is that I think Sinhalese is like a really interesting language. First of all, I've yet to figure out where it originated from and like how did we come up with this language, because it's not even similar to any other language. So it's very interesting to me how it came about. I just love how some of the words are formed in Sinhalese. So to give you guys an example, so the word for hunger, it's badagini, right? And to break that word down, bada means stomach and gini means fire. So pretty much what you're saying when you're saying that you're hungry is that your stomach is on fire. It's like so dramatic, but I absolutely love it. The next question is, who is your favorite Sri Lankan person? So again, I'm going to modify this to who is your favorite Sri Lankan person who is not related to you, because obviously I would choose somebody in my family. So the person I would say is one of my favorite Sri Lankans, it has to be Nayomi Munaweera. So she's actually a Sri Lankan American author who I just discovered about a year ago. And funny enough, it's such a weird turn of events how I got to meet her and everything. So I found out about her book from just some uncle who publishes this newsletter. So he had written about her in his newsletter. So I checked the book out. I read this book in like 2 days, and it's called An Island of a Thousand Mirrors. And this is her first novel, okay? And this book is just so phenomenal. I mean, just to see like your experience as a Sri Lankan written down on print and in a book, such a surreal experience for me. And I think she really addresses a lot of the issues that we face as Sri Lankans, and specifically as Sri Lankan Americans, and then it takes it to another level as Sri Lankan American women. So I really related to this book on so many different levels. And so funny enough, I last year got to meet her because I went to this women's conference here in LA, and she was one of the guest speakers there. And I ended up getting asked to MC this event. So I got to introduce her when she came up to speak. So it was so amazing. I couldn't believe all of this was happening. Then it turns out one of my friends is actually really good friends with her. So I got to go and hang out with her and have drinks with her and got to talk to her a lot more. And it was so great to meet somebody who, you know, had like a similar experience growing up as a Sri Lankan woman living in America. I think growing up it was kind of a struggle because I think me and my sister, we were never the ones to like accept things as they were. And like when my parents would say like, you have to do this because you're a girl, like that never was okay for us. We would always question everything. So I always felt kind of like I was this bad daughter for not like listening to my parents without question. And of course you hear like, oh, what would happen if all the aunties found out? And I would always just say like, I don't care about what the aunties have to say. Like they don't run my life. So yeah, so I think we gave my parents a pretty hard time. But it was funny because, you know, sharing this with Naomi, she told me that growing up, other aunties would like warn their daughters not to hang out with her. I mean, so comical to me because now she's like this like successful writer and she's got an amazing life. So I just think that's so hilarious. So yeah, so it was such a cool experience to meet her. And she has another book out called What Lies Between Us, and again, this book, I just like ate this book. It was so good, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. I mean, both her books are amazing, and I'm waiting for her third book to come out. The next question is, what is your favorite Sri Lankan song? So this is great because Sri Lankan music is so good, and my mom is a musician, and we grew up with music everywhere around us, and we danced and we did all the Sri Lankan things. So music is a big part of my life. So I really like all the new stuff like from Bhati and Santosh. I love their songs, and I love listening to them in the morning, especially because I just feel like really good and happy when I hear them. One of my favorite songs though right now is this song called Bajao Kamare. I know it's not very recent, but I absolutely love that song. It's just like so fun and easygoing, and you just like dance and get in a good mood when you hear it. The last question of the tag is durian, yes or no? So for those of you who don't know, durian is like a fruit or a vegetable, I'm not sure what it's qualified as, that grows in Sri Lanka, and I think again in other parts of Asia as well. People are very 50-50 on durian. Either you love it or you hate it. I'm definitely on the side of people who does not like durian. It kind of tastes like curry, but not in a good way. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of durian. Alright guys, that's it for the Sri Lankan tag. Thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me. I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye.